Hi guys, my name is Aleja Alebol and it's the best sporting show in the whole of the universe. It's News Instant Sports, airing of course on our band radio scope and on Queen's Talk TV on Amazon. But I have with me today, like I think I had Olawale last week. Yeah, I think I did with Olawale. Oh no, it was
No, no,
Sheyi
no.
that I
It
had
was
last
she.
week.
It was
But
she.
today I have just Olawale with me today. Olawale, go ahead and introduce yourself before we start the show proper.
Um, Good day, sporting fans around the world, wherever you are listening to us. Uh, my name is Lawale. Welcome to the show. We have a couple of interesting things to discuss with you on the show today. Stay with us for the next 1 hour for the best analysis in sport this week.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Best analysis it is. We'll be jumping straight into the world of basketball right now. I want to start with basketball. Not so much to talk about, if you ask me honestly, but things have been unfolding. We're seeing the Milwaukee Bucks not what we thought they were going to be. The start of the season. Kachi is of the opinion that it's going to take a little bit of time for them to gel. But I'm looking on the opposite side at Celtic, and Celtic right now are ranked to be the major, or should I say, the favorite for the NBA championship this season, and the Celtics are doing wonderfully well. You see Drew Holiday, Porzingis, the Jalen Brown, and of course Jason Tatum doing a word of good for themselves right now. And you're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm like, not what I'm thinking. And of course, the Denver Nuggets 6-1 right now, doing what they know how to do best. I don't know if they're not going to be able to beat the 72-73 games in a season currently held by the Golden State Warriors. We'll get to see that. But of course, on the flip side, the Suns, you might call them a little bit of slack. Say Devin Booker is currently injured right now, and but that balance, I'm not feeling that balance right now. The Golden State Warriors are doing what they know how to do best as well, and the most unserious team right now, as far as I'm concerned, um, taking it off the game last night between the Orlando Magic, and that's why I'm going to be starting Olawale. And it's a shame. It's a big shame if LeBron James is the best player in your team at that age. And I'm not going to mess nice words right now. LeBron is the best player at the LA Lakers, at least as of today. I don't know if it's going to change tomorrow, but as of today, I don't see what is it about time. And people have been clamoring for this, saying, "Oh, maybe they should trade out AD and get someone that actually could take the mantle away from LeBron." I'm like, okay, I'm the start right here, right now, and LeBron, you're going to be number two, because I don't expect a LeBron to be doing all what he's doing right now and putting himself on the edge to help the team. It does not make sense. It should be more of a supporting cast right now than the main man that is going to be dropping 35 points every game. And when it does not drop that, there's a problem for the Lakers. Olali.
Okay, so I think these are the issues. Uh, One funny thing about basketball is I think the talent distribution at times is a whole lot of thing. And comfortability. When I look at what do you call it, the LA Lakers roster,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I see LeBron James, Cam Reddish,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis,
Yeah.
D'Angelo
Austin Reeves,
Russell, Austin Reeves, Christian Wood, Max Christie,
Achimura.
Achimura, Jackson Hales. What I'm trying to say is this: Anthony Davis' career at the Lakers, probably after the first season,
Uh-huh.
has always been a roller coaster. It has been a lot of ups and downs, which has been very, very frustrating for a lot of people. But in the game we're talking about, which was the game against the Orlando Magic,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
actually scored the highest points in the game with 28. He had 13 rebounds. And probably 3 assists.
Yeah.
Uh, Anthony Davis has his own issue, which
Yeah.
is still affecting them. But at the
Uh-huh.
same time, I just look at the remaining part of the roster, like
What are they
D'Angelo
bring?
Russell,
What are they bringing
Austin
to the
Reeves.
table?
If you
Uh-huh.
could recall, okay, Austin Reeves even scored 20 in this game.
Okay.
Austin Reeves scored 20 in this game, which is probably not bad. I think defensively, you could just look at probably effort from the other part of the team and probably just have to give kudos to the Magic for doing what they did. But overall, I just still think
There's a
beyond
lot to be done.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis, even Austin Reeves, we some analysts rightly predicted, this season could be tougher for him because
Because
a lot
there's
of
no surprise
teams,
element anymore.
exactly, a lot of teams will have done a lot of scouts on him too.
Mhm.
I just think you need more from Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell in terms of rising to the occasion. How consistent can they be? Christian
Uh,
Wood and the
yeah.
other set of guys. In
I
as
don't
much
know,
as
and I start to be corrected a lot. I don't think Angelo Russo is going to ever rise up to that occasion.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to point out, that generally beyond those top two,
Yeah.
if you really look at the talent, the talent of that squad,
Mm-hmm.
if you remove LeBron James and Anthony
AD.
Davis from this team,
Yeah.
and you probably seeing a team that you probably not rate more than the Orlando Magic. I think that is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing
Yeah.
a team that, yes, LeBron, probably a younger LeBron could probably
Put them on his back
put them on his back, but I don't think it's something
like he did last season.
it's something that's
Basically,
but even
yeah.
at that, Anthony
Uh-huh.
Davis too, beyond, he had a very good game here, but I think he could still probably add more. I think he should be scoring like a 30-something point in some of these games consistently.
Yeah.
I just think his own he himself is in terms of his output has been of a roller coaster of a thing. But I just still think generally the whole squad is still probably not a top player, a top level, what do you call it?
Same.
Talent. We have to see more from Austin Reeves and, let me say, D'Angelo Russell for this team to be able to even exactly, for them to be thick. Those guys will have to be 9 to 9 bases. At least one of D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves will have to be dropping nothing less than a 20 points on a 9 to 9 basis. Both of them cannot be dropping like 10, 15 points constantly, and you expect more from this team.
You know what I see? What I see right now is the fact that they are going to want to ride on LeBron. LeBron is going to burn out because he's old already, and once he burns out, the Lakers will self-implode. That's what I see. I don't know. I stand to be corrected.
Now, it's possible. I think that was what the coach is trying to avoid, and that was why in the first 2-3 games he was trying to limit LeBron's playing time, and I think he's still probably is doing a good job with LeBron's playing time by not overplaying him so much. Like I think last night he played 35 minutes or thereabouts, which is
against the Clippers, against the Sacramento Kings, he played.
Those ones are probably beyond. But again, where you have to strike the balance is in as much as you want to keep LeBron fresh. If result is not really going your way, you probably don't have any other choice than to increase his minutes, because as it stands now, they have a 3-3 record in the in the Western Conference, and the Western Conference is a very crazy conference now that puts them at 8th. That puts them at 8th position right now, and considering that the Suns are probably playing without two of their superstars, and the Sacramento Kings probably have they started with probably one of the toughest fixtures you can think about, and things might probably get better for them. If you are looking at those two teams still behind the Lakers, you might be worried about the Lakers.
Exactly
as it stands now.
Exactly. Because honestly, the Phoenix Sacramento Kings will always come back. The Grizzlies definitely will come back at one point or the other.
I,
Especially,
I think the Grizzlies are done for this season. If you ask me why, I just think
yeah, why?
I think what we've seen from what me have learned from what has happened to the Grizzlies is an average NBA player is capable of being a winning team, but
Okay.
not everybody is capable of being the best player or among the best player in a team. Why am I saying this? This team has Marcus Smart, and Marcus
Yeah.
Smart in the last 5 years has been one of the main players, maybe not in terms of scoring for the Celtics, but in terms of the defense he brings in, the what do you call
The
it?
balance.
The balance, the leadership, and all those kind of things. But this has not transpired to anything for the Grizzlies. They are the only team in the NBA without a win as it stands now.
But
They've
but
lost
what
all.
about when Jack comes back? I think things will
But
change
that's
for
not
them
easy for you
definitely.
to cover up for a 0-6 record. I'm telling you. Before you cover for a 0-6 record, it's going to be very difficult. And Jai is going to miss, I don't know, is it 15 or 25 games?
Yeah.
If he's missing at this rate, if he's missing 25 games, that means probably by the end of the first 25 games, they might be at probably let me say a 5-20 record or a deficit. If they have already lost 6 as it stands now, I don't think things are going to get that better for the Grizzlies
Better
this year. I think
for the
this year
Grizzlies.
is probably just the right top for them. And beyond that, I think they are still missing Steven Adams, who also has been ruled out for another whole year. So I think the Grizzlies should just treat this year as one of those years that if I don't know how deep the talent in the next NBA draft is going to be, this is probably a blessing in disguise for them to get another superstar to play along Ja Morant as it stands.
Ja Morant as it stands next season. All right, perfect. And of course, just before we go and leave basketball alone, I want to ask you a question for the Celtics, for the Boston Celtics. Honestly, it's I know I was like, okay, Marcus Smart was leaving. What is Porzingis is going to bring to the table? And nobody knew that Drew would be going to the Celtics as of then. Nobody knew that.
Yes, exactly.
Drew went to Celtic and the dynamics changed. Drew probably one of the best defenders, if not the best perimeter defender in the whole of the NBA. And this is attested to by current NBA players as by way of questions and whatnot. How do you think? I feel in the East, just like Jazz said, Celtics will be definitely okay in the East for this season, as it stands, bar any mid-season trade, injuries or whatnot. As it stands today, do you agree?
The Celtics, at least if you are looking at the record, they are the best team in the East and probably in the whole of the NBA. And this is what you need to look at when you look at the Celtics. Look at the starting five: Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
You can comfortably say 4 of these starting 5.
I'll give you 20 points.
4 of these starting 5 could be the 2 best players in the 2 best player in any team in the NBA, in any competing team in the NBA.
Yeah, 100%.
We should not forget that Porzingis was drafted number 4 by the New York Knicks, and prior to his injury and probably the little stint he had with the Dallas Mavericks, when he was not really happy with his record and with his role, Kristaps Porzingis is an upgrade on, what do you call it?
On Marcus Smart.
No, not on Marcus Smart. This young Robert Williams 3.
Robert Williams 3, okay.
Robert Williams 3, with all his defensive presence, has always have an health issue in terms of availability. Kristaps Porzingis can give you what Robert Williams gives you in terms of the interior presence and rim protection and interior presence. Additional to that, he can stretch the floor by playing on the perimeter, which is not what Robert Williams can give you. Of course, what they've traded away is the depth of their squad, because as it stands now, their bench is a bit so thin. I
Yeah,
think if you look at their bench that played their game against the Brooklyn Nets yesterday, they had Sam Usia, Payton, Pitchford, Luke Cornett. These are not household names. I think Derek White is the only missing. I think the only thing they've traded away is the depth, which of
yeah.
course sometimes if you look at the NBA playoffs, most teams actually shrink what do
Shrink,
you call it,
yeah.
their
No,
roster to like
the body.
max of probably 7 or 8 players
Yeah,
at times. So I think they should be fine if they are not if there is no injury. And I think another thing is the players they've gotten just systematically, as in, it's just
upgrades them.
a natural fit. Drew Holiday is a very good point guard who doesn't need to score a lot of points.
Yeah,
Porzingis is a very good rim protector who doesn't need the ball that much before he
that
can
much.
impact the game.
Yeah,
You understand? And that still gives Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum
and just
this
Tom.
chance
Yeah,
to do their normal scoring thing without
yeah.
really bothering themselves much with the
About protection
playmaking.
of the
And
room. Yeah,
as it still stands, they are still a very good defensive team, both in terms of perimeter defending and the interior defending, because Al Horford and Porzingis will still give you
gives them that
those
dynamics.
protection in the interior, and both of them can still guard players on the perimeter. Even without them, Drew Holiday, Jalen Brown, and Jason Tatum are good perimeter defenders. So I think
Yeah.
it's just a natural fit for them. And
Okay.
that, for me, as it stands today, they are probably the best. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. But
Yeah,
as
of
today,
course,
they are the best
100%.
team in the Eastern Conference.
All right, perfect. And would basically we need to face the elephant in the room. And Lionel Messi won the 8th Ballon d'Or in the course of the week, which we all knew, and many people have come out to say, okay, this is trash. Foremost among them is KDB. KDB was like, it does not expect to be on the podium because what kind of award do you get to know who the winner is a week before the announcement? Which is a valid point. We've come around to see people like Pep Guardiola coming out to say, yo, there should be 2 awards, one for Messi and one for other people. So Messi should win it every year. Xavi has come out definitely in support of Messi. What do you call him again? Mikel Arteta has come out in favor of Messi as well. But that being said, there are many should I say, there are many side attractions to it. People like, yo, this guy is not worth to be the World Footballer of the Year for the 8th time, given the scope that we have. And I look at it analytically. Sometimes, and this is what you already said, when awards are being left out for people to vote, you just vote whoever you want. And I'll give you an example. Nobody in Africa, and I repeat, nobody in Africa, including Nigeria, voted for Victor Osimhen to be World Footballer of the Year. Everybody was either Haaland or Messi. And you look across the globe as well, there's this exponential bias towards Messi as long as it's one of the top 3. So if you look at it, what is FIFA really, what do they really have to do? What could they have done to change the dynamics or the results of the poll? If you ask me, nothing. They couldn't have done anything. They could have said, you people should not vote for Messi, or you people just vote Haaland. Yeah, that's the truth. And if you're looking at people like journalists, captain of countries that have their own personal biases, like, okay, I'm a Manchester United fan. I've seen situations where
people are taking things very personal. Like,
exactly, where I think it was Gareth Bale, he did Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, and I think Xabi Alonso in a Ballon d'Or that involved Messi, Iniesta, and Xavi.
I just feel like that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Yeah, I've seen situations where people will just bring someone randomly. Okay, this is the guy I'm voting for. So honestly, should they change? For me personally, I don't think the award is worth the salt. personally, I don't think it's worth the salt. I think it's wrong, and like as Emega always say, scrap this kind of awards. It gives room for more controversy than anything sensible. But is
Well,
it about time that we have like a group of panelists that will look at
now,
it critically and set the positions of the rules? They set the rules like, okay, this is what you are looking at as rules, not because you win this year because you score 91 goals. Another person that has won a treble or whatnot and scored at the final of the World Cup is not going to win the award because he scored 91 goals. And next year, the person that had a woeful team club season because he won the World Cup will win the Waffle of the Year. And I'm looking at this and I'm telling you, based off and you and I had this discussion in 1998, based off what we saw, there's no way on earth that Zidane will score 2 headers in the
maybe it's
finals, and that automatically guarantees him the Waffle of the
the
Year
one
in
for the year.
1998.
Exactly, that was what actually happened.
So is it about time they change the narrative, they change the
Okay,
criteria for this thing, or we should just
so
scrap this award once and for all?
we can't scrap it because I think
Okay.
one way or the other, you would at the end of the day, you still want to crown the best. I think kudos to the NBA for what they normally do.
Okay.
They have, I think, majorly they are sports media personalities who do a lot of those voting, and these are guys who probably know their game. Of course, personal bias comes in a lot of things sometimes, and you see, it's easy for us to have a trend. You have to be on a winning team. You have to play not less than 65, 70 games. You have to do this. You have to be that. But there could be some year, we've seen even in the NBA years whereby some of those rules are very difficult to follow. And you see
Yeah.
somebody having an exceptional year in terms of stats. But in terms of the winning, probably it still might not be like the second MVP that look at what do you call it? Nikola
Luka
Jokic
Doncic.
won.
Okay.
Nikola Jokic. I think the Denver Nuggets. I think either they were ranked, was it 6th or 7th, and which I think is the lowest for anybody that has won the
Yeah,
MVP. It has never
I
happened
was
before.
I was really upset about that. Not gonna
But
lie.
again, people that voted for him that year said, when you look at the advanced stats, and because due to the fact that his second best player in that team, who is not even an all-star, who has never been an all-star, which is Jamal Murray, was not available, and what do you call it? And Michael Porter Jr. Both of them were not even all-star, but those are his two best players, and those guys were not available. And for him to still have come up with those kind of numbers and even led them to a playoff, for them, you can't
It's
follow
enough
the
reason.
normal trend. If you understand, you can't follow the trend of what we've been following before. You have to be this your team. So going back to this award, I think this award has always been controversial from years, but probably because of social media era now, and I think the Ronaldo Messi thing has really
Escalated
in as much as they gave football a very good era. I think it has polarized the whole footballing fraternity that a lot of people just put aside common sense just for their personal bias. And I'm not saying this from probably one part, it's from both ends.
Yeah.
If we could imagine if somebody could come out and say Messi was not the best player for the Argentine team at the World Cup, you know that person is living common sense somewhere and just going with his personal bias. Like, see, when you look in the past 4 or 5 win, if you look at the World Cup, if you look at the Spanish team that won the World Cup, if you look at the German team that won the World Cup, those teams were a team that you were not really surprised. It wasn't that they had players who were very outstanding, but they had a lot of outstanding players that it was difficult for you to pinpoint somebody as this is the person that carried this team. But at best, that Argentine team is an average team. And when you say Enzo Fernandez or Julian Alvarez are the best, they are common. These guys were not even starters.
At the start of the tournament.
It was just because the way the result
Dr.
went against
Martinez, yeah.
Saudi Arabia and how things were difficult again. You can remember that Mexico game. The game
Uh-huh.
was so chaos that there was nothing in that game,
No,
not until Messi scored that goal.
Basically, without Messi, they wouldn't have won that World Cup. They wouldn't have
At
gotten
all,
out
nothing
of the
so
group
far.
stage without Messi.
So what I want to say is this. Now, what I'm saying is, we've seen on both sides when people, and I think that bias even has gotten to on the part of the players, like you rightly said, when you see the FIFA work, when you are seeing the way, what do you call it? Players even voted, vote for people that they just feel like they like. It has, you don't see common sense in it again.
Yeah,
Personally,
exactly.
I don't think Messi should have won this award. I think one of the major problems with currently they have now is the way they are just trying, the way they change. Before
The
World
goalpost.
Ball of the Year, the World Ball of the Year and Ballon d'Or is all about a calendar year.
Yeah.
Of course, I agree that where the World Cup holding in December did not help a lot of things. In as much as I agree with that, but I think over time we've seen them trying to change the period that now it is more of a season thing, which the World Ball of the Year is not all about. I think going forward, one of the things I think could have been done, like I share your sentiment. I don't think I would probably vote for a player playing in
In
MLS
MLS.
as the best player.
That's
Of course,
that's the height of it.
The MLS today is not the same as when David Beckham went there. We need to at least state that
Yeah,
fact
but
too.
Olale is
But
like
notwithstanding,
voting Ronaldo because Ronaldo scored 44 goals this year, and vote Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia as the best player in the world.
as best player of the year, I will not do that too personally. I will tell you, I will not do that personally. And I just think going forward, what I think this thing should be limited to journalists. At least, of course, bias will come in,
Yeah,
but you
100%.
can to an extent trust them. And if you
They
look
need
at the
to be
Ballon
more
d'Or before,
comfortable.
if you look at Ballon d'Or before it was merged with World Ball of the Year, I
Yeah.
think it has more credibility. What FIFA does prior to now was FIFA tends to give credence to their own tournaments. So whatever, irrespective of what you do in a World Cup here, you cannot be if you don't have a good World Cup, if you don't have
World Cup.
a very good World Cup, they will not
Yeah.
name you the World Football of the Year. So that's what FIFA was doing prior to 2010 when it was now merged with Ballon d'Or, and FIFA doesn't have a complete influence in terms of how that criteria will work,
Narrative.
and that was
Yeah.
that narrative. That was where you could see that a little bit of change from 2010, 14, and what even made things difficult for those 2010, 14 was the teams that won in 2010, 14, and 18. Those three tournaments, it was more of a collective effort without it being a standout player.
80 was just crazy. It wasn't what Modric that won it. Luka that won in
Luka won
2018.
18.
Why would Luka win the World Football of the Year, for crying out loud? How?
So
How?
I think 2018 was just probably people were tired of Ronaldo Messi thing.
How?
And both of them didn't really have much to say about the World Cup. The French team that won was more of a defensive oriented team.
Yeah.
Croatia did a surprise to get to the World Cup,
The World Cup finals.
And Luka Modric was part of the Real Madrid team that won.
It was
the
part.
Champions League.
It was just part. It was not the one scoring the goal.
I understand.
It was just a crazy.
Probably I can let that go. As much as you can give Luka Modric for 2010, probably we could have just given Iniesta.
Iniesta in 2010 too, as 2000 and whatever.
So I think for me, I think going forward, we should make it about journalism.
But this is what's going to happen going forward.
The moment you want to make it,
yeah, I think this is what's going to happen going forward. I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom. It's going to be about brand, and as it stands right now, the biggest brand that they have right now is killing Mbappe. The second biggest brand they have right now is Erling Haaland. So one of them just needs to score 50 goals to win the Ballon d'Or.
My brother, just wait until Real Madrid wins this. If
Jude Bellingham
continues with this goal scoring madness that is going with,
yeah,
don't rule him out for 2020.
2024 now. Yeah, 2024.
Don't rule him out for 2024. I think we just have to I think one thing they have to stick with a certain criteria. Like, if what ball of the year is going to be from January to December, let us know.
Oh wow.
Or if you want to make it a season thing,
Exactly.
let us know clearly. This idea of making it January December this year, turning it to there has to be a bit of
February to March next year.
I think there should be a bit of sanity now. Ronaldo Messi era, I think
it's gone over. Exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's very over now.
I think let's bring a bit of sanity back.
Hopefully, we will not see that kind of rivalry again in football. I hope we don't. Honestly,
I think the fans took this rivalry to another level. That
someone said
when you see analysis at times, you just feel like, wow, what's going on here?
Someone said he's so happy that Ronaldo's career is going downward. I'm like,
going downward as in what?
Yeah, like
downward
because he went to Saudi Arabia.
37-year-old, 38-year-old going to Saudi Arabia going downward.
Why
people are going to America this thing as early as 33, 34?
I'm like, why you guys taking this team person? This is not supposed to be this personal.
So exactly. See, we are all human beings. Let me put it like this: we are all human beings. We have our personal bias. We have our personal favorites, which is
of course.
Fine. Yeah. But again, we can still appreciate the talent of both guys. You don't have to diminish one person, and that is why at times there are some certain arguments I probably just try to avoid. And there is a reason why everybody comes in a different era, just that everybody shines. Because sometimes when you look at the stories if you look at the Ronaldo story, if you look at the old Beckham, David Beckham, Alex Ferguson thing, it was just perfect for Cristiano Ronaldo's rise to stardom.
Yeah,
that their clash happened about the right time for him to have moved to Madrid, creating that space in that United squad for a young Ronaldo to come and learn. Like, see, some people underestimate the impact of environment in what makes the player.
Yeah,
talent is good, talent is fine, but again, at times, the mix of the people the environment you just look at.
You find yourself.
You find yourself. Just look at this present Man United team. I can bet it with you. If Haaland has moved to Man United at the very from Salzburg, or let me say even from Molde, or even if Jude Bellingham has moved to United at this present state, I think the negativity around the club will have consumed those.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And that's why I keep telling anybody that cares to listen that I don't feel Bukayo Saka is better than Jadon Sancho. People would think I'm mad, but I think Saka is enjoying a very good atmosphere. He's enjoying the coach, the love of the coach. Sancho, on the other hand,
and a better environment.
A better environment. Sancho, on the other hand, is not enjoying that. If he has that, he will be able to drive himself. Anyways, let's move away from there. And
so that's what happens at times in life, that you just need a lot of things to align with you.
Yeah. Let's move to a little bit of preview for the Champions League and see what's going to be happening in the Champions League. Newcastle has slayed Manchester United. They killed Arsenal over the weekend as well. Now it's going to be against Dortmund away from home. Dortmund, don't forget, they lost against Bayern again. They've lost. This is like for the past 20 games, I believe. They've lost against Bayern back to back. Balali, what's your prediction for this one? Dortmund versus Newcastle.
Well, in the first leg, I predicted Newcastle winning, and they lost. I still think they are good enough to get at least a draw in Germany. Okay. I think that was one of their worst games of the season. I don't think Dortmund is that exceptional. At least the result against Bayern gives us something very close to. Oh, I came with an hat-trick against. I didn't even know.
Of course. That. Yeah, I scored back to back. We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah.
So I just don't think Dortmund is that good. I think they could even surprise with the win, but I think they will still get a draw.
All right. Milan versus PSG. PSG won the last time. Do you think Milan will be able to spring a surprise at San Siro this time around?
I think PSG will do a double over them. It's unfortunate.
Milan. Okay,
Yeah.
that means Milan is they are out of the tournament then. And of course, Atletico Madrid played a 2-2 draw against Celtic. Beat getting a red card the last time. But right now the Celtic is going to go into Spain. Don't forget Celtic. They've lost that boy that I love so much, Jota. Jota is in Saudi Arabia right now. What do you think is going to happen for this one? And don't forget, Griezmann is just I think 7 or 8 goals from becoming the highest goal scorer in the history of Atletico Madrid. Funny,
Are you
right?
kidding me?
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen for this one, Atletico versus Celtic?
I think Atletico victory. Yeah. I don't think Celtic will do any surprise in
Anything meaningful?
Spain.
Yeah.
Scottish teams are not good travelers when it comes
Yeah, they don't like
to
traveling. Yeah.
when it comes to European competition. So I don't see that changing. Not even against Atletico Madrid.
All right, perfect. And Napoli versus Union Berlin. Union Berlin have been losing. I think they've lost their last 4 or 5 games right now, and they're going to be going to Napoli. Don't forget, Napoli are losing they've lost their talisman, Victor Osimhen, and of course, Braspodi is doing wonderfully well for them. Simeone is doing wonderfully well for them when it comes on as well. Zelensky is still there. Carvajal is trying to pull up his weight. I believe for the past 2 or 3 weeks right now. Do you think Napoli will win this one, or it's going to be a dicey one for Napoli?
I just think the European competition has been a little bit of a bit overwhelming for the German side, Union Berlin. I think they
Yeah,
are just
exactly.
probably not in terms of talent. I just think just finding themselves in that competition as probably just taking a little bit it's 2 bits heavy for them, and going to Dortmund. I think they are going to Naples. I think they lost the first
Yeah,
leg
yeah,
at
go to
home
Naples. Yeah, to Napoli
Napoli.
1-0.
I don't see it changing. I still think Napoli will come up with a victory, even
Come
despite
up
the
with a
fact that they
picture.
are without Osimhen.
Because, but of course, Inter Milan versus Salzburg. Inter Milan has been winning. I think they've won the last 6 or 7 games. 5 consecutive away wins for Inter in the Serie A right now. They look unstoppable. Marcos Thuram is crazy right now. Lautaro Martinez is looking good, and of course, all the guys in basically in Inter right now. And come to think of it, people were against Simeone Inzaghi when he started his job at Inter Milan because he took over from the mantle from the erratic Antonio Conte. But right now, it
Antonio
looks
Conte.
like he's settled. Yeah, it looks like he's settled, and Inter are playing one of the best football right now. I believe they should be able to win this one against Salzburg, even though he's away from home.
Yeah, I think they did the right thing despite losing that Champions League final. They stick
Hmm.
with the coach. They probably
Yeah,
stick with the bulk of their squad.
yeah,
Made the necessary additions.
uh-huh.
You've seen that continuity with them. Against Salzburg, dog is not going to be the most interesting game. I see Inter going away and getting a draw in Austria this time. I
In
don't
Austria.
think it's going to. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very cagey affair.
Yeah,
That
fair.
probably,
But
yeah,
but I
that
think
probably
I think
just
that
end with a
that
one-one
would be
draw.
that should be enough for them.
Of course,
So
I think they've won their first 3 games or
yeah, they are
thereabouts.
they're on 7 points right now. And of
Okay, on
course,
7 points, and
yeah, on 7 points right now. And Arsenal versus Sevilla. Arsenal has lost 2 consecutive games. One in the Carabao, and of course the one that we'll be talking about later on the show against Newcastle. Do you think they'll be able to pull this one without Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, and of course who else? And Gabriel Jesus. Do you think they'll be able to pull this one out?
it's going to be very tricky. Looking at, I think this will be the first. This will be the second big game we are seeing them without Martin Odegaard.
Hmm.
I think they've done the hardest of the job by going to Spain to get a victory in Sevilla,
Yeah,
which has put them in a very comfortable position. They need to consolidate on that by winning at home.
at home.
Now, they had a very poor attacking game against Newcastle over the
Uh-huh.
weekend.
Hmm.
Bar the controversy, I think they were below par attacking wise.
Yeah.
I think I expect things to change at home, but I've not seen them. Let's see how they play without Martin Odegaard again. Let's see how of an issue it's going to
It
become
become
because
Yeah.
despite the fact that I think we've not. I think he has a lot, a much depth. I don't know because I have some Arsenal fans believe there are many average players in that team. I don't know when the standard for Arsenal players have now really changed between 2 or 3 years ago that we consider some of the players they have so average because
That's
I
that's
don't think
that's
he has depth. I think he has.
that's what you get. That's what you get for being a little bit successful. They are not even
Okay.
successful yet. Just a little bit of success and it's getting to
Yeah,
their head.
because what I think is probably Ateta will need to look inward a little bit and mix things up. Like if you are going to play two holding midfielders instead of a 4-3-3, you can play two and play straight number 10 and just do something a little bit different from that attack. It will be worrisome for me if they can't get a victory against Sevilla or because of there is no Martin Odegaard. That will be a big problem. I think the Odegaard issue can easily be solved. You have, what do you call it? What's the name of this boy? Lisandro Trossard. Trossard can actually play behind the striker. We see him doing that at Brighton. So that's why I think I think what do you call it? In that case, you can go with a deep Eleni and it has not played much games. You can play two sitting midfielders and just allow this guy play in between the lines.
The lines,
or
even Fabio Vieira. Definitely, Emi Smith-Rowe is out definitely. So
I don't think they can have that experiment as a third man.
It's not working. It's not working.
I think at times it's every coach is even the Alex Ferguson of this world. They went Arsene Wenger. They've made some signings, the big signings that doesn't work. You don't have to overstick with it if it doesn't work. I think that's the difference at times.
The only time that Arsenal had a good run was when they stopped starting Kai Havertz. I feel at this point the only thing you can do is start Kai Havertz as a striker. For me personally, if you want to insist on using it, just start him as a striker.
So it's going to be a tricky game.
Yeah.
So
playing in the middle is just going to be. Yeah. Okay.
I expect them to win. I don't think it'll be straightforward, but I'll be worried if they don't win this game without Martin Odegaard.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. And of course, expectation is placed on Bayern Munich to defeat Galatasaray. United, hopefully, they will be able to defeat FC Copenhagen.
Not that easy. I don't think that's easy.
That's why I said hopefully they will be able to.
I think the right thing is if they still want to have any business to do in the Champions League.
In Champions League,
that's the game they have to win. That's the game they have to win. Are they going to win? I'm not sure because a lot is not too well with the team. Kudos that were able to get a win against Fulham, but it was an unwatchable game for better part of, for let me say 89 minutes just until that Bruno Fernandes goal, and which was more of you just take it as it comes. You just take it as it comes. They have to show intent. They have to be defensively solid, and they need to create something, a pattern of towards the end of the game. You could see a little bit of overlapping from the fullbacks. They need to create a certain way of this is how we want to create our chances. I think which has been the problem with this team. They don't really know how to create
the chances.
I'm very sorry for the young Hojland, and that was what I said. I don't know if the article I did for.
I remember. Yeah,
that's why I said that it's not even about his ability that's my concern. Is where would the chances come from?
The chances come from,
and that's the problem the young boy has been facing. I think they just have to create more chances. I think they could probably play more with their flanks. If they could get their fullbacks to put in the cross, the guy could probably, if you have somebody who could have a presence inside the box, who could fasten his chances to, I think they just have to figure out something. It might not be that pretty, but at least something that can consistently create quality chances. And they just have to win this game. How they will do it, I don't know. If not, they find themselves in Europa League.
Europa League again. Anyways, as it stands right now, we still have a couple of guys on top of it. Fredericky Beck with 6 goals. Luke De Jong of PSV with 6 goals. Broma Braga with 5 goals, and Mauro Cardi with with 5 goals as well. The assist table have Ricardo Horta of Braga with 6, Juan Bakayoko with 4. Um, right now, we'll have to talk about the game between Arsenal and Newcastle. Arsenal lost against Newcastle, but the incident that surrounded the goal itself is the bone of contention. Did the ball cross the line? That was the first question. We never see any show of that. Unlike the game between, I've forgotten who you guys played against. Was it Brighton
United versus
and
Brighton.
United and Brighton? We
It
saw
was
that
not the same
clearly.
thing.
Yeah, we saw that clearly. And the next thing was the fact that Joelinton actually pushed Gabriel, and that was not taken as well. And the offside as well, which just states that if you have two players beyond the goalkeeper, then it becomes an offside, and that wasn't done as well. And you were like, what is happening? The referee was not referred to go rewatch it. They just stood by the referee's decision, even though there were three separate incidents, which any of the three is reasonable enough for them to cancel the goal. Arsenal has come out to say they supported the rant of Mikel Arteta, calling the league disgraceful, having lived in the country for 20 years, that this is disgraceful and was not expecting this from a league that says it's the best league in the world. And like I said, beyond closed doors, Balali, we look at it and you're like, okay, if the players that are making so much money could go into gambling, it begs the question that, are we really safe from these referees? Are they doing something significantly wrong? Are they actually betting or having some different kind of sentiment or attachment that is making them make this kind of decisions? Because right now it does not make
Now,
sense anymore. Go ahead, Alali.
I think the right word is it does not make sense, which I will probably agree with you. It doesn't make sense. Now, what really makes sense is that what I think for me, I'm one of the big supporter of introducing VAR, but at this point in time, it's now looking more that VAR is now giving human beings chance to even have a more to influence the game more than when we don't even have it at all. At least when we don't have it at all, it's a split-second decision that even if it goes wrong, you can just say, okay,
You just agree like, okay, it's fine.
okay,
Yeah,
the referee
it's
doesn't
one
even
of
have a
those
chance
things.
to view it
Yeah,
again. In
yeah,
a split
exactly.
second, he has to make decision in 1 or 2 seconds, and you can even, as bad as it could be, then you can easily live with it. Why this is even much difficult for people to take, and why we are saying all these things, is because the
You have the chance to
ability
review.
to review it, and on many occasions, on probably 70 or 80% of the occasions, the referees are still coming probably up with worse, and so it leaves the question of, does VAR now give referee the chance to even do worse than what they have been doing before, like to probably just do things based on their own bias, which could now be fueled by a lot of things, could be fueled by either hatred, likeness, gambling, so many things. And that is what he's looking at now, because it is very difficult to make a contrary argument. And I am not a fan in as much as teams are hypocrites in terms of course, when these terrible decisions goes their favor, you don't see them coming out to say, I don't think we should have had that goal. I think because even in this current season, the same penalty that was awarded to Arsenal against Tottenham was the same incident that United didn't get penalty against same Tottenham, where the ball hits a player in the box.
Yeah,
they didn't blow the penalty, and so we've seen, like I rightly say, it's going to go around, but of course at times it might not be balanced, and it could be more costly for some teams than the others.
Yeah.
But the idea that you want to clamp down, because what I noticed on Twitter, I saw Gary Lineker, Gary Neville, Michael Owen, and some ex-players trying to condemn Arsenal as a team, Arteta for criticizing What else do you want him to do? You want him to patch the referees at the back and say,
At the
"This
back,
is a
I
great
say, oh,
ball."
it's not good.
No, I don't like that.
You know,
You
you know,
can't
you know, you know,
you,
Gary is or
you can't
something else.
box him to silence. I don't think any
Exactly.
other. I think that is just a normal human being reaction. If
Uh huh.
anything will change, I think this idea that you can't criticize you don't want the criticism of the referee. I don't think it makes any sense to me. It's just more of you are just acting like a dictator
Dictator. Yeah.
who doesn't want anybody to criticize him, and that's for me. I
Yeah.
think it's very sad that we've gotten here. I think Arsenal didn't deserve much from that game, honestly speaking. But
Uh huh.
again, nobody deserves to lose a game in such manner. If
Such
there
manner.
was no, in as much as you want to feel like Gabriel is leaning towards like, so as in probably he wants to lean towards Gabriel was a bit. The main thing was this guy has two hands at his back,
Uh huh.
and it has a tangible effect. Of course, Raya, that ball shouldn't have beaten Raya by any other team. The
Yeah.
referees
Exactly.
are just that ball shouldn't have beaten Raya. But again, if Jolinton didn't put his two hands on, what do you call it, Gabriel?
Uh huh.
Gabriel has chances of nodding that ball
Nothing the
away. I
ball.
think
Yeah.
that ground alone is enough for me. And I from where I'm seeing that ball is completely out of play. I don't know which other technology, which which way are the other
We
technology is
need
coming
it.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't think it's so hard for a team to survive three kind of, what do you call it, controversial issue like that and still be able to get away with that goal. I think it's very, very sad,
It's
and
very sad. Yeah.
I don't know
It's
where
some.
at this point. I don't know where we go from here. I just think it's
Okay.
something we probably have to live with, because it seems the FA
Yeah.
and they
Exactly.
just have a template. They have a template of what they want to do. They will just
Yeah.
worst case
And
scenario.
follow through it.
Worst case scenario is they will apologize to you, and everybody will move
And
on
and,
into the
and
next game.
that's it. Anyways, Jeremy Doku gave a good account of himself, showing against one of the worst team in the league, Bournemouth, assisting 4 times and scoring 1 goal as he defeated Bournemouth 6-1. Wolverhampton Wanderers lost against the New Boys. Olali, do you think Wolverhampton Wanderers will be able to go through the murky waters? I don't understand why Wolves would lose against one of the prime guys to be relegated, Sheffield United.
If
Olali.
even you see, the problem with Wolves is this. I think the problem with Wolves, even during their best days under
Uh-huh.
Nuno Esperanto Santos, as good
Uh-huh.
as they were during that period, goal scoring has always been their big problem. They don't
Their
score a
issue.
lot of goals. They could keep possession, they could play very well for 80 minutes, but you can hardly see those chances. Now, the talent in that team now is not even as big as it was during Nuno time.
Then.
And I think we look at one person that has been very constant to them scoring goals throughout this season has been Neto, and he's been injured for a sustained injury last week against Newcastle. And I think him not in that, I don't know how long he's going to miss, the number of games he's going to miss. But if he's going to miss a significant amount of games, he will still struggling, because he's one player that has been, irrespective of who gets the final touch to score, he has always been involved in their goals. I think he has his own. In terms of assists, he has 7 assists, which is the highest in the Premier League this season so far.
Don't worry. That's the guy that is replacing or deputizing for Bukayo Saka come January.
And he's one of those few players who are still capable of playing on both flanks. Who is a natural who naturally can dribble his opponents. Who doesn't have to rely on just cutting inside, which probably everybody can do. Shout out to Doku too. I think he's one of those few players that can play on both flanks. They can play directly on their right or on their favorite foot, and they can play as an inverted player from their weaker foot. So I think Neto not being around is what I think. I think if he's going to miss a significant amount of games, I see them struggling. I see them getting themselves involved in that relegation issue battle. It's just that
Battle.
I think we have teams who are probably
So bad.
so
Luton
bad that
City, Burnley,
so bad that I
yeah,
think we might not be able to
and
drag
Sheffield.
them into that relegation fight,
That
because
relegation battle, yeah.
I don't see where Burnley will get their wins with the way they are playing. They want to play like the top three teams, and they don't have that kind of talent.
That kind of talent to
Sheffield
do
United
that.
are really, really poor. This was just their first victory. Luton
Uh-huh.
Town are
But
not too
they got
different.
a draw against
Bournemouth
Liverpool.
already romancing with them too at that level.
Uh-huh.
So I think that could be the saving grace for, and that's why we won't see how bad
Wolves
or
and
how
Everton.
Wolves, Everton has been so bad so far this season.
All right, perfect. And of course, Bayern defeated Dortmund yet again, 4-0. Harry Kane has scored back-to-back hat-trick right now. The first guy in the history of the Bundesliga as a new player to score, I think, 40 goals within his first 10 games. He has 15 now. He has overridden Dusari as the highest goal scorer in the German Bundesliga right now. Harry Kane. If Harry Kane stays for 3 years or 4 years, do you think Harry Kane is going to beat the record of Lewandowski at Bayern?
What is Lewandowski's record? I don't know.
I'll have to check for you. Okay, just give me one quick sec. I would tell you in one quick sec.
I think the impressive thing about Lewandowski, about Harry Kane is scoring the goals, and he's still doing the normal thing Harry Kane does, assisting. He has 5 assists, which is joint second in the German Bundesliga. Only Xabi Simon of RB Leipzig has more assists than him. Him and Christian Furish, or what do you call it, Stuttgart, they are on 5.
Yeah.
So that's what Harry Kane does. He scores goals. He still acts like a playmaker.
Let we add 344 goals for Bayern.
In all competitions.
In all competitions, of course.
That could be a tough. That could be a tough distance to the man from Harry Kane. But again, looking at, they played 10 games and he has 15 goals. Yeah. If he goes on at this rate, probably it's going to. But of course, it might probably slow down. There will be some games they will rest.
Yeah, of course.
But it's on pace to score like 45 goals in this season. I think one thing that is guaranteed is, if he spent 3 years in Germany, I think he's going to cross the 100-goal mark in a season.
Yeah, that is in
the Bundesliga alone. And I think he has a chance. He will have a very good chance to probably make a 200 goals all competition for
Bayern. And of course, automatically becomes a Bayern Munich legend. And he's guaranteed to at least win the trophy now. Yeah, exactly. And he's guaranteed to win a trophy now.
And I think the most important thing for them is, I think if he can win a Champions League with Bayern, it will be. I think I'm here for it. I want to see top English players going outside to play, just as we see Jude Bellingham. I think over years they are too much content with their comfort zone.
Yeah,
just want to play in there. I think I'm in for this. This is one of the things. There is one of the ways for them to even prove to the rest of Europe that yes,
that we can do it.
We can do it either way.
All right. Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
So I think it's a good one for him. I think he's settling down very well. I think the team is getting better now. I think they have a little bit of shaky start, not really getting themselves.
Yeah,
I think now they are getting to their groove, and let's see how far they can go.
All right, perfect. And of course, having won the European Cup, the UEFA Champions League 5 times, Marcelo won the Copa Libertadores with Fluminense over the weekend as well. Having won 2-1.
Some guys cannot stop winning things.
Some guys cannot stop winning. Yeah, so it becomes one of the few guys that have done it both in Europe and in South America after retiring from Europe. And of course, Albertoni has been touted to move to either Chelsea or Arsenal. The coach Frank Thomas is saying whoever wants to sign Albertoni needs to cover out £100 million to do that. I don't know what kind of drug he's taking or what kind of Indo he's smoking. Anyways, that's a wrap and that's the show for today. Till we see you again next week. My name is Lalija Adebo Ali. You guys have a wonderful sporting week. Bye, guys.